Welcome to Global Voice Radio with Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project. Join Nikki as she talks about education, family fun, and building a business. Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Who am I? My name is Naya. I was born on a Friday. I was born Friday the 13th. Mom says I am special and they are blessed. My mommy went to her doctor one day to see how I was doing. But then, the doctor told Mommy it was time for me to come into the world. My mommy and daddy knew I had a purpose, so they named me Naya, which means purpose. Only 3 amazing letters. N-Y-A. That's me. This is my mommy. The first one. Plus my daddy. The second one. Equals me. Number 3. I have a beautiful sister who is old. She is 25. I have a brother who is old too. He's 24. My sister plus my brother plus me equals 3. Guess what? I have a nephew. I love him so much. He's older than me. He is not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. He's 6. I love numbers. Say them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't wait to share my next story with you. Until then, keep reading this one. I have 2 dogs, 1 and 2. Their names are Star and Cupid. Sometimes Mommy and I share special moments away from my daddy, my sister, my brother, my doggies. We take pictures together all the time, just the 2 of us. 1 and 2. Then sometimes Mommy and Daddy have their special times together. Mommy says even then I'm always in their hearts. Mommy plus Daddy equals me. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Now it's your turn to write down all the numbers you've learned. I know you can do it. Keep going. Phew! You did it! You are amazing too!
Okay, so I wanted to use Marvel's comic book character, the Black Panther, as a springboard to discuss topics related to African STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So the story of Marvel's Black Panther is an interesting and fictional story which weaves together and draws upon multiple fascinating factual elements found throughout various African cultures throughout time. Perhaps the most important of these facts and themes in the story of the Black Panther is the significance of metallurgy and blacksmiths in African culture, spiritual systems, and technological development. So first, let's discuss the fictional story of the Black Panther and the fictional country of Wakanda. So the story basically goes 10,000 years ago, a meteorite composed of a metal called Vibranium crashed on planet Earth and landed in the country of Wakanda in Northeastern Africa. The crashed Vibranium meteorite created a mountain or mound, which was discovered by the Panther Tribe in Wakanda, who became the guardians of the Vibranium mound. The deities Bast and Sekhmet are 2 feline deities of the Panther Tribe, and the king and protector of the Panther Tribe is a warrior who holds the title of the Black Panther. The Black Panther also has a group of all-female warriors who serve as his personal bodyguards called the Dora Milaje. As guardians of the Vibranium metal mound, the Panther Tribe became skilled blacksmiths and metallurgists in antiquity, which translated into a highly technological technologically advanced and economically stable African country in present day, where one of the major resources of the country of Wakanda is the Vibranium metal. Because of their high level of advanced technology, Wakanda has never been conquered, colonized, or enslaved. So now let's discuss the factual elements that the story of the Black Panther and Wakanda draws on. So in reality, the metal that was basically transformative in terms of technological development in antiquity was iron. Now, when we study the history of iron and iron smelting, we find that the earliest known iron artifacts are 9 small beads dated to 3200 BC, and they were found in ancient Egypt, Northeastern Africa. These 9 small beads were meteoric iron that was shaped by hammering, and this evidence shows that the ancient Africans in Egypt were the first to use iron prior to the official start of the Iron Age. The ancient Egyptians called this meteoric iron Ba in Pet, meaning iron from the sky or metal from heaven. Additionally, the ancient Egyptians' word for the blacksmith's forge was kepesh, and this same word kepesh was a homonym to a word used for a scimitar-shaped metal weapon casted in a blacksmith's forge, as well as to the constellation of the Great Bear, Ursa Major. One of the names of the 7th pharaoh of ancient Egypt's first dynasty was Mer-Ba-Pen, which literally translated as lover of iron, which showed the fundamental importance of iron to the ancient Egyptian culture as early as the first dynasty. The ancient Africans in Egypt, who were blacksmiths and metallurgists, also had knowledge of several different types of metals and metal alloy. We have metal nettle words for meteoric iron, which was Ba in Pet, metal nettle words for smelted iron, which was Benpi, gold was Nu, silver Hetch, copper, tin, bronze, gold, silver alloy, and electrum. These are all metals or metal alloys that we actually found attested to in the metal netter. Now, the metal netter word for blacksmith was messen, singular, and messinu, plural. So it is my belief that this metal netter word messen, which meant blacksmith, is actually cognate to our English word mason. Again, they're similar in phonetics and have a similar definition or meaning. Additionally, the word nebi in metal netter meant to smelt or to work in metals, and it was a homonym to the word which meant leopard or panther. So the word nebi in metal netter could have been used to refer to a blacksmith or to a leopard or a panther. Now, the ancient Egyptian blacksmith deity Ptah, who represented the primordial mound. Again, remember that the Vibranium mound was the home of the Panther Tribe in Wakanda, and here the actual blacksmith deity in ancient Egypt was Ptah, who represented the primordial mound, and he had 2 wives, Sekhmet and Bast, which were both represented by felines. Ptah's son by Bast was the lion-headed deity of war named Mahes, who was also called Apedemek in Meroe in Nubia. Additionally, the Sem priests of Ptah, who were also blacksmiths and metallurgists, wore leopard skins, and again, these people were more scientists than priests, more engineers than magicians, contrary to popular interpretation. Additionally, the wearing of leopard skins was a custom of the Nubians of Meroe, and the Nubian kingdom of Meroe was a huge iron smelting capital in antiquity. Now, it's important to know that a panther is just a melanistic leopard. Anytime you see a black panther, it's essentially the same thing as a leopard. It's just all black. So after the fall of the ancient Egyptian and Nubian empires, over time, we see various leopard secret societies who are also blacksmiths spring up across the African continent. We have the Ekpe Leopard Society in Nigeria, who writes using the Nsibidi script. We have the Abakua Leopard Society in Cameroon and Nigeria. We have the Anyoto Anita Leopard Society in Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria. And we have the Leopard Society of Basilan in Liberia, who writes using the Vai script. In the books African Jungle Doctor by Werner Jung and Jungle Pilot in Liberia by Abe Gunther, an experience in Basilan, Liberia during the early 1900s is described, where reports were made about leopard men and people who would dress in leopard skins and fashion and wear claws of steel, which they would use as weapons. Brass metal rings, which represented water spirits, were forged by the blacksmiths of the tribes of Basilan and left as offerings to the brass god of the leopard men. The Kru people believe that these objects are actual living creatures that can be found in creeks, rivers, and lagoons. So again, this is an actual factual account of Africans who were blacksmiths on the continent who actually dressed in leopard skins and crafted metal weapons, just like the Black Panther from the Marvel Comics. Now, these metal objects that they call water spirits have shared interpretive meaning with the Dikinga cosmogram from the Congo, Thor's spinning hammer, also called the swastika, and Ta's hammer. All of these objects have the same interpretive meaning, which have a direct connection to blacksmiths. So when we talk about spirits of the water, we can find a direct connection with that to the Dogon blacksmiths in the story of the Nomo. The Mandi, Bamana, and Dogon blacksmiths of Mali tell stories about water spirits called the Nomo, who were blacksmiths of a metal from the star Sirius called Sagala. The Mandi blacksmiths also control a force called Nyama, which is synonymous with Nyami of the Akan culture. An important blacksmith ancestor in Akan culture is Nana Adade Kofi. The Mandi blacksmiths of Mali form castes called Numu, Numu. Again, we have a phonetic similarity of the Numu blacksmith caste to the Nomo blacksmiths spoken of by the Dogons. In the Dogon mythology, one of the Nomo blacksmiths was named Ogo, who is synonymous with the Orisha blacksmith Ogun in Nigeria, and the blacksmith culture in Nigeria has actually existed since 1000 BC with the Nok people. Ogo in Mali and Ogun in Nigeria are also called Gu in the Dahomey culture of Benin. Now, in the Dahomey culture, the blacksmith Ogun, Ogo, or Gu is said to be married to the warrior Orisha Oya. The 19th century kingdom of Dahomey, who were practitioners of the system of Udun, which acknowledged Oya, developed an all-female military regiment who were an embodiment of the warrior Orisha Oya. So this is where the Black Panther fictional story got its concept of the Dora Milaje all-female warrior force. Additionally, the warrior queen characteristic found amongst the women of the Dahomey kingdom was also found amongst the Kandakis or Candaces of the Nubian iron smelting city of Meroe. So as we can see, the role of the blacksmith has been central and integral to African culture, society, spirituality, and technology through the ages, and the leopard, panther, or feline has been one of the symbols associated with African blacksmiths since ancient.
Hi, it's Naya. You're just in time for today's project. Are you ready? Today, I'm going to explore technology. I remember the last time I shared my super math skills. 1 + 1 = 2. You are so smart, just like me. I'll show you what I can do now. Are you ready? I know a new word. It is technology. Technology is using machines, big and small, to do something. Most people use technology every single day. Mommy and Daddy said if I'm sweet, I can use our laptop to FaceTime my god sister. Her name is Zion. Zion is a big girl. She is smart like me. She uses technology. She likes talking on her cell phone, on her tablet, on her laptop, and on her computer. These things are technology. Do you remember what technology is? What is technology? Circle those things that are technology. Good job! Friends, it's time for me to go. I'll see you soon to talk about my next project. See you soon!
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever my listeners are. I want to thank you so much for being with me on this radio show, Naya's Project. I have a very, very wonderful guest who is sitting here patiently waiting. Again, you know we are live, so it is not going to be a perfect sound here, but we're going to do our best. So without further ado, let me bring on Mr. Tony Robinson, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. I'm going to let him tell you all about the great things that he does. Yes, Mr. Tony Robinson.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning to you and your listeners as well. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you and hopefully connect with some of your listeners also on today and also in the future on our social platforms and on our website. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have you. I see, of course, we have, my show is surrounded by education and it's STEM. Mm-hmm. And I see that you work you do work as a mortgage broker.
I have in the past. Okay. No longer. Not sure which information you currently have, but so really to kind of give you a little bit of background on myself. After college, I spent the first 15 years of my career working in banking, and in various capacities. And the last 5 years was really dedicated to mortgage lending. And so that was a big part of my growth and my professional development. And for the past 8 years, I've been an entrepreneur full time, and I've got my property management business. So DTS Property Management is my current business, one of our current businesses that we currently run.
Okay, and where are you located?
We're located in Cleveland, Ohio, and you can reach us on our website at dtspropertymanagement.com, and also on Facebook with the same name, and also on Instagram as well.
Okay. I have a girlfriend out there, and she's doing some fabulous things as well. I might want to get her and you hooked up to do this thing together. This is wonderful. This is awesome. And I know that she's looking for properties. So look at that.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we do all day, every day. And just to make a quick reference, you mentioned education is your platform and your background, and that's really the platform in which you're trying to work from. And we certainly agree with that. And so recently we've done some events here locally, and I recently introduced my first scholarship program. So we've got a scholarship program geared toward high school seniors, where we are offering a scholarship to further their education and help with some of those, expensive college expenses. But it's not just for college. We also realize that there's a lot of young men and women who want to be entrepreneurs. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of avenues or resources for them to be able to make that leap of faith. Most of the time they're being led by family or parents to go into that higher education, which we're all certainly in favor of. But starting a business is one of the true pillars of wealth, and so we're a big advocate for the students to be able to further that mission, and hopefully either with the business or with their education, we want to be able to provide them an avenue to be able to further that.
That's amazing. And guess what? I just forwarded to my people right just now.
You saw it on the internet. Okay.
Yes, of course. That is so wonderful. So do you guys also do any sponsoring? Do you sponsor?
We are not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit business. However, we do work with several organizations locally to do different events, different seminars, and things of that nature. So there is no sponsorship. This is all coming from me to really be able to give back to the community. And it's a national scholarship, but just be able to give back to my community.
That is amazing. I always talk about, I don't understand how, and everybody's different, and I get that, but how can you, especially a young person of color or older person of color who was raised in a community like I was, and then you rose above it, you were able to come out of it. How can you sleep at night knowing that you're not doing anything to contribute to that, to the kids left there? And I get it. Everybody again is different, but
sure.
My job, I think, is to reach at least one.
There you go. Absolutely.
It's done. I did my best. Yeah.
Right. Well, again, like you mentioned, we're all different. I really take, I call it my alpha male tendencies, but I really take that seriously to mean, really a leader in the community. Not only just in business, but also in academia and also in the community as well. And so, I was raised as a preacher's kid to be able to be civic-minded. And so so it's my mission to, definitely reach back and be able to bring along some of the young folks that, really are our future, to be able to give them a leg up or a hand out.
That is beautiful. Tell me some more about the at-risk counseling.
So for a number of years, I have worked with several nonprofit companies or organizations here in Ohio where I'm located. And some of those organizations' mission was to work with at-risk youth. So I have a passion for the at-risk young men. And we've done mentoring, tutoring, and things of that nature to try and get them back on track. So there may be a young man that is in the 12 to 15 age range is kind of where we see a big portion of the wheels starting to come off a little bit. And so just being able to reach out to that segment of the population to try and, offer some guidance. In most cases, from what I've seen, about 98% of those are single-parent homes. And so we want to just be able to be a resource. We understand we definitely can't take the place of a father or a parent, but just be a resource to give them a different set of eyes of something to look up to.
Good. And how long have you been doing the counseling?
Well, to be honest, I've done it for about 6 or 7 years. It wasn't until last year in 2017 that I incorporated my consulting business to start, doing it full time and monetizing from it, not just the kids, but more so on the national level to talk about credit and finances and real estate investing and things of that nature, because that's also a huge area of need for our community, is financial counseling, financial education, and just being able to further our resources when it comes to finances. Unfortunately, having my 15 years experience in banking, I was able to see firsthand just how our community is really lagging behind when it comes to financial education. I don't know why, but we just receive financial education very differently than other cultures.
And this is kind of why I think so. Most of us don't know what wealth really looks like.
That's very true. Sure.
We don't know, and we can't even fathom. You can't even understand. You don't know what you don't know. And when you see how mommy is robbing Peter to pay Paul, or mommy is, she working 2 or 3 jobs, and you still barely keeping the lights on. All of that other stuff is secondary to them, or to us. Of
course, because survival is first. It's about survival first. Absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of a crab in the barrel mentality, which has kind of been forced on us throughout time. But we live in a information age and an information society. So Google makes us all a little smarter while making us dumb at the same time. So really, obviously in the 60s and 70s and for some folks in the 80s when our parents were coming up, that information wasn't widely available as far as financial instruments, insurance products, how to start a business, things of that nature was just not available. And so now that we know that information, it's up to us to be able to reach back and have those conversations with our kids at the kitchen table about credit, about finance, about insurance, and about starting businesses. And so it's up to us to really, as a lot of us being first-generation college kids, to be able to take that information that we've learned, because we are getting the good jobs and we are getting the promotions and buying homes and things of that nature, but we're still paycheck to paycheck. So being able to get out of that rut and just use a little bit of information and a little bit of planning goes a long way.
Yes, sir. I totally agree. One of Naya's books that I'm still working on, because Naya's project consists of 6 books supporting those subjects. And one in particular, I was going to write a sub-book, and it will talk about trading. Like, the stock market trading and this Bitcoin type thing now, cryptocurrency. Sure. You know that how many kids out there really, really know this, and I think it's something that should go hand in hand in what you're doing as well.
Well, you're right. I mean, you're right, 100%. But like any other investment vehicle, it's risky, and it's only as risky as the information that you have. So it's important for parents, it's important for educators. Hell, it's important for all of us to, make sure that we're doing the research, finding out about alternative or cryptocurrencies, foreign exchange, things of that nature. And really what I do is I challenge parents to make sure that we're not splurging on birthdays and Christmas with the Xboxes and the Jordans and things of that nature, and talk about opening up custodial bank accounts for our kids, making sure that we have college funds set up and things of that nature. You know, a kid who gets $100 for his birthday, he'll blow it in a week without some guidance. And so it's important for us as parents, because we do know, you know, how quickly money does leave our hands, to make sure that we can educate our kids to be better financial stewards over their own money.
That is beautiful. You said something really, really significant about the Christmas and the birthdays and everything. I have one of my sixth goddaughter. I told her, I said, from here on out, now she's 9, I said, from here on out, I am going to put this money in your, you know, the term life insurance, where she can cash it out when she I said,
the whole life policy.
Yeah, whole life. And so that's where your birthday and your Christmas money is going.
That's it. Because what you're ultimately teaching is, you're teaching that there is a future. You're teaching them that there is something beyond today, satisfaction beyond today. And so those tenets or principles of finance, of wealth building, are very much present in what you're doing. And so she won't understand it at 9 or 10 or 13 or 15 years old, but once she becomes an adult and she understands that her life is fully insured and she doesn't have to pay for it, she'll start to see it a little differently.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is truly amazing. We have about 4 more minutes, and I'm just going to let you just talk for a minute. And something that we may have missed, or something you are just burning to tell us about. You have.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, really, 2018 is a big year for both of my businesses. We are really looking to expand and grow and scale both businesses to a large degree. And so Tony Robinson Consulting is the business that we're referencing here today. That's my consulting business. You can find us online at tonyrobinson.com. That's Tony with an E. Or on my toll-free number as well, 888-928-1555, and on all of our social platforms on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn and Instagram. And so we are all over the place, and we try and make sure that we're active with our posts and keeping our viewers and our followers in tune with what we're doing in the community. We have a lot of events planned for this year, some local to Ohio, some national events where we'll be traveling throughout the country, really just preaching our message of wealth building, of credit repair for free. Let me say that again, for free. For free.
Wow.
For free. And so last year I came out with my first book. It's called The Offensive Playbook. So that's also available on my website. It's Offensive Playbook, 9 Rules for Guaranteed Real Estate Success. And what I've really done over the course of writing this book is really just taken my experience, my 15 years in banking and my 20 years in real estate, and really just broke that down for even someone as young as 15 or 16 to be able to explain some of those basic principles that, you learn in banking or you learn in finance that really is not available or not widely known by the general public. And so I put that information in my book. The first third of it really just talks about credit repair and being able to help folks understand their credit, what drives their credit, and all those 5 things that, help make up your credit score. And it really can be managed. It's all about having discipline and being able to use that discipline in furtherance of whatever your other goals are. So our book, I'm coming out with a second edition here in a couple of months that'll be available on Amazon, Kindle, and all those other platforms. So our book is coming out this year, more seminars. I mentioned before about our scholarship program. That is currently out now. I just came out with it last week. So for all high school seniors across the country who are looking to further their education or start a business, and that's key, or start a business, we are going to help them along that journey. So there's some, we are looking for a 500-word essay, and we'll be able to use those applicants to have our team review those and come up with the ultimate winner for this year. And next year we hope to expand it and offer more. But this year we're starting with just one scholarship to help one bring one along. And so we're going to do that. And so I'm really excited about being able to introduce that to your audience and also on our online platforms also. Scholarship programs, seminars, and then my primary business, which is DTS Property Management. I mentioned that earlier. We're continuing to do our thing. We're managing property for investors, and we are teaching young and emerging investors how to buy real estate the right way. If you don't do it the right way, you're going to lose your shirt in this business. And so, again, just using all my experience to be able to work with my students or my consultants, people that I work with one-on-one, to be able to hold their hand and walk them down that path.
That is outstanding. I have to have you back on the show. Just to,
well, I appreciate that.
Yes, that is awesome. What I am going to do is have a round table where it will be featured on the radio as well. And I was looking through my little list of people to see who I would love to have around that table. And I would love to extend that invitation to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'd love to come back and share some more with your audience and hopefully connect with them as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I appreciate the invitation. We'll certainly do what we can to make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, that sums it up for today. Again, thank you, Mr. Tony Robinson. And guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, we'll be hearing more from Mr. Tony Robinson really soon. So thank you guys for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, the host of Naya's Project, on Global Voice Radio every